Hi everyone. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Travis, and I was actually an ex-community manager at Financio. And so today, what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually take a look at the new Financio. So the new Financio was finally launched today. It was supposed to be launched a while back, but I think there was some technical difficulties. So now it's finally launched, and yeah, today I just want to actually give it a go and see what are the changes. And I'm equally excited to just explore this. At the end of the day, Financio is a product that I enjoyed being a part of, and I still have many friends who are currently still with Financio, and so I just want to take a look and share that excitement with all of you as well. So this is the new login page. Straight away, there's a lot of changes with the overall layout. There used to be a fixed column right at the left side, which I recall a lot of people also providing their feedback saying that it take a lot of real estate space. In the sense of the viewing space is limited because you have a fixed column that really just takes up a bulk of the viewing space on the left side. So they've made changes. They actually put all of the settings now at the top, like a drop down, which I actually do like. I think it reminds me of like Microsoft Word or Excel, which most of us are familiar. So in terms of the user experience, I think it will be one that is familiar to most people. I believe most accountants would have used Excel at some point. And I believe even with accounting softwares or any software, they would still be using Excel sheets here and there for other purposes. So I like the changes. I also like the overall color theme change. The older Financial design was a lot brighter in color. This one just feels a bit more professional, a bit more toned down, a bit more formal. Like a real accounting software. So those are like the first view. Those are the things I noticed, and those are all the things that I like. So what I'm gonna do, this is a new account. I'm just going to go ahead and set up the new business. And just take a look at what are the changes made also in terms of setting up of an account. So as a community manager back then, some of the things I was concerned about is the ease of setting up a new account. So someone who is setting up a new accounting software for the first time, is it easy for them to navigate, and do they know how to go ahead and set up their account? And mind you that Financial was built with business owners in mind, so not necessarily even accountants. So it's supposed to be easy enough for a business owner with little to no accounting background to actually set up their own accounting books as well. Okay, so right here I can see the setup is right here, and it actually states what are kind of the things that we will need to be setting up. So let's go ahead and set up the account here. Alright, so there's a lot of changes here as well. Some of these changes I noticed is things that we've discussed previously, so that's exciting. So right here you have your start date, so this is your business start date. And then, yeah, rather than allowing the user to determine what their end date is, they actually changed it to just the period. So whether it's a 12 months period of a business or 10 months and so forth. So if in the event they are starting in February and they are ending in December, then they will just put it as 11, and automatically it will calculate the financial year end date for them. So in the past, they had to set their own year end date, and we also ran into issues with that. So this is a nice change, just to kind of lock things in place so that people won't make mistakes when they're setting up their account. Okay, I see another new thing here. So the costing method, I believe, is linked to the inventory. So Financial comes with a built-in inventory tracking that you can use. So in the past, we ran with, I believe it was first in and first out. So for those of you who don't know first in and first out, basically it's based on the buy-in price and the date. That when you sell it, it will deduct first by the one that you bought first, if that makes sense. Average cost, they just take everything you've bought and just average it out to calculate the costing for you. So Depending on how you prefer to count that, you actually just go ahead and set that. They also change the frequency of the email alerts. That's really nice. I believe in the past it was, I have no idea in the past. I believe it was, I'm not gonna even try to say it. Okay, let me just see what weekly does. And oh yeah, okay, decimal points, there are changes as well, whether or not there are decimal points. So it's divided into quantity and amount. So quantity would be if you're using the inventory. So normally if you're dealing with units like one mobile phone, two laptops, then you have 0 decimal places. The decimal places would be things like if you're selling sugar and you have decimal places due to the grams, and maybe your main calculations in kg or tons and so forth. So you do have decimal places. And amount is for the currency. So in the past, we also dealt mainly with 2 decimal places. But what we've noticed is, for example, if you're converting US dollars to Vietnam dong, then you would end up with decimal places. And even with 4 decimal places is not the most ideal. We did have requests with people dealing with cryptocurrency. And with cryptocurrency, 4 decimal places, even then, it isn't enough. But this is a nifty change nonetheless. Yeah, I think let's go ahead and see what's next. Okay, clear all existing tabs. Interesting. Oh, okay, business settings is set up. What do I do from here? That is strange. Let me just go ahead and check that. Okay. That's a bit strange of a flow. It jumped me out and then bring me back into step 2. Okay, so step 2 is pretty much the same. You can set additional currencies. So back then when I was doing training, the other currency I would most of the time add would be Singapore dollar. Just because Singapore is just right by, and most businesses, there's a high chance that you'll do it Singapore at some point. So let's go ahead and add that. It's active. Yep, you just need to determine your home currency because all of your reports will actually report based on your home currency. But by default, your home currency should be set based on your country, the country you're located in. So if you start a business that is in Singapore, then Singapore dollar would automatically be indicated as your home currency. Let's see what's the view. Okay, nothing important. Let's go ahead and go next. I hope this doesn't jump me out again. Okay, it doesn't jump me out. Not too sure what that was earlier. Okay, taxes. Not like the state in US. But this your taxes, you can actually set between SST or GST. Of course, Malaysia now we're just dealing with SST. Though I hope we go back to GST. GST just makes a lot more sense. But for now we do have just SST. I think for this, I don't think we need to go very in depth into tax, but I'll just leave it there. And I'll set it as 1st January as well, just to keep things. I'm not too sure, cash or accrual. I don't remember the details of all of that. Let's just go ahead and save it, just so that we can see. Okay, I won't be able to make any changes to that in future, sure. Okay. So far so good. Everything seems really smooth. In the past, you may experience a bit of loading time between, but right now, what I'm seeing is everything seems to be loading really fast. I really like it. Okay, so since this is a new business, I think I won't make too much changes. This whole chart of accounts is a very different format. I believe there should be an option for you to even, oh yeah, the import. Okay, so you can import your previous chart of accounts, they call it, but in simple terms, it's basically all the main accounts that you'll be kind of crediting and debiting from throughout your accounting. So let me just go ahead and take a look at how I can edit. Okay, so this is the edit. All right. I am using RHB Bank, so I'm just gonna put RHB Bank. And then, interesting. Okay, so now they have a sub account option, so you can create sub accounts. In the past, there wasn't even an option for sub accounts, so this is really cool. So sub accounts is subcategories in easier term. And I think you can even add codes. So by default, we don't provide the standard chart of accounting codes. Many accountants would be familiar with kind of the chart of account code. Like if it's an asset, maybe it starts with 1, and then if it's a fixed asset, there's a different code to it. But here, there's the flexibility for you to add in your own code that you're familiar with. I'm not super familiar with that, so I'm just gonna leave that for now as well. Okay. And do I put in the amount here? Okay, I believe the amount doesn't go here. Okay, that's the only thing I'm going to change, I believe. So let's go ahead and go. I think the next one. Oh, okay. So you have the balance sheet accounts as well as the profit and loss accounts. Now it's separated and a lot clearer as well. That's really nice. I really like this layout. It's not overly cluttered. It's everything within the page. You have the option to expand it only when you want to look at it and make the changes to it. These are really good changes. You'll only really appreciate these changes if you spend a lot of time on the software. These little changes actually adds up. Even if it takes just 5 seconds, over time, this time actually does add up, and your frustration adds up as well if you're having a hard time with it. All right. Yep. So this is where you enter kind of your starting balances. I'm not gonna say if I remember how to set this thing up, but I'm just gonna say I started with 50,000 in the bank, and I believe if I started with 50,000 in the bank, then I kind of have to put it in the shareholders' capital as well. So I don't remember whether it goes into the debit or credit, and that's the beauty about Financio. You just put it in the balance, and it automatically indicates if it's supposed to be a debit or credit for you. Actually, I'll just go ahead. I always make sure I have some cash on hand as well, just to be safe, in case I want to demonstrate any transfer or anything like that. So if I'm putting total 55,000, then I'll just need to make sure it balances here as well. So this one goes to 55,000. Okay. So I believe here is where you can actually add in your previous receivables as well. Yep, so if you do have past amounts of invoices, meaning to say you are continuing halfway through the year and you're migrating from a different accounting software, so you kind of have to make sure all of your invoices that were previously created in a different software is also reflected here. Otherwise, you'll be having to toggle between 2 different accounting softwares and generating 2 reports to consolidate them. So the better way to do it is to actually just shift everything here. They have an import option, but you'll have to actually kind of reformat it in a way that Financio can import the information into the system. All right. So that's about it. I think that will be the last step, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, maybe I think there's add a profile picture or something like that. They set opening balance. Okay, not too sure why it isn't saving. Maybe I'm just gonna pause it here and just figure this out for a bit. Okay, so sorry about that. I think it's an internet issue, but we are currently loaded to the last step. Actually, there's one last step after the opening balance, which is just your business profile. So if you added the tax, I believe you have to add your tax number here. So I'm just gonna go ahead. I don't remember if it's a 15 digit, 12 digit or what. Let's just go ahead and put that. And then let's go ahead and upload an image. Let's see what I have here. Yeah, let's just put the logo in. So this logo will be populated on your invoices. So make sure you upload a nice dimension into this area. And then your address and so forth. I'm just not gonna fill those things up. Yeah, I think that's about it. Let me just put this as well. Okay, let's go ahead and finish the setup process and see if we can move on. Yes, perfect. Okay, so right away it brings us back to our dashboard. There was a bit of loading over there, but right away, yes, you can see. Yeah, we have the 50,000 in the bank, 5,000 cash in hand. Yeah, I really like the new charts as well. I think the only downside, I did take a look at the mobile while I was having a bit of internet connection earlier just to check if it's an internet issue or so forth. What I realized is that it's not really optimized for the mobile. You'll notice some of the things get cut off at the top. So that's the only downside at the moment. So it's mainly for the desktop. I believe they have a mobile app that you can use, but I believe at a later phase, from what I understand, is they will also optimize it better for the mobile, just in case you need to do anything via your mobile. So we can look forward to that. Okay, so in Financial, what I really like, and they added this additional thing called workflow, which we landed on earlier. So if a business owner or if anyone who is not so familiar with the entire process of what needs to be done, here you can actually just follow the steps. So you just go follow the arrow. So after the quotation, you have sales order, and then you go ahead and convert that into a sales invoice. Although most businesses actually skip the sales order and go right into the sales invoice, but actually a sales order here as well, right? So under the sales is when you are making a sale. So when you're making a sale is when you want to go ahead and issue a quotation, and then later on invoice your customer. And then from your invoice, you can either go to your sales report, receive the payment, indicate that you've received the payment, or if there's any case, hopefully not, but a credit note is when there's a request for a refund, or they want to adjust any of their initial invoiced amount. So maybe they are purchasing 10 units and now they say I only want 8 units, so you use a credit note to kind of credit back the 2 units that they do not want anymore, right? Likewise, if you're going for a purchase, you can kind of follow the sequence that is available here. But of course, for those who are more familiar, then you can just go ahead and go sales. You can go into your sales list. I believe they make some changes to the sales list. So here's where you'll see all of your quotations, your invoices, and I think they added a filter, so you can do more filtering as well, to kind of if there's a lot of quotations or invoices to filter through, then you can actually just go ahead and use that. And what I like is that they've added tabs, so it allows you to toggle between many things at the same time. So if let's say I am actually going ahead and fill up some of the purchase related information, but at the same time I'm also creating a quote, I can actually just go ahead and toggle between the two at the same time, right? And I can just drag the sequence of it. Yeah. Okay, yeah, and once it's loaded, then you don't have to keep reloading it, right? Everything is, loaded, so it's really nice. Okay, let me just quickly go through and see the most important things like issuing a quotation and invoices, to see if there's any changes in the flow or the way you create a quotation. All right, since I don't have any customer setup, I think I just need to go ahead and do that. Right, so I'll just add it as a business contact. Okay, so it opens up a new tab when I do choose to add a business contact. Interesting. Okay, Let's see. Neslo Ice. I have no idea. What are the key informations that they need? Okay, Malaysia Ringgit, 30 days terms, bank transfer. I'll just go into my income. Are they my supplier? Yes, I'll just make them my supplier as well. Just makes it easier. Alright, they buy and they sell and they buy from me, right? Okay. Send e-transaction. So send e-transaction is that option to actually have the system send out the invoices directly to their email. So you can actually toggle. So now by default it's set to no. So if you want to turn that on, you can go ahead and do that. But you need to make sure that they have an email address, I believe. It's at gmail.com. I'm just gonna. If anyone has this email, I'm sorry if you're receiving any spam emails. Yeah, but this is just gonna be the test, right? Okay, so if I save the contact, then it jumps me back to the page. Okay, so now I can select Neslo Ice. Okay, I go ahead and the invoice date is straight away the current date. It's the first quote. Interesting. I believe there's an option to also change the default quote number or running numbers. Let's see, form settings. I almost right click and open in new tab because I forgot that there's a tab option here. Oh, so convenient. Right, so here's where you can actually change the sales code. So if you're using not the prefix of Q and you have a different running number that's coming up next, you can actually just go ahead and change those things. Notes, and you can set default notes for any of this thing. So this is where you normally say like, oh, thank you for your interest in dealing with Milo Dinosaur and so forth. But here's where you can actually make all of those changes. Okay, really cool. So expiry date, I believe this is supposed to be set by default, maybe because I did not set it earlier, because I did set a 30 days term, so not sure. It doesn't auto select. Should I try to create a new quote again and see if that works? Yeah, let me just go ahead and create a new one. This can just be a little bit of feedback as well along the way. Okay, I'm just gonna shift that. Okay. Neslo Ice. Okay. No, it doesn't set it by default. That's really strange. It's supposed to, I believe. It's okay. We'll just go ahead and save that. And I guess I'll just let them know, let my friends know about this as well. Okay, so then if we scroll down, let me see. There's no attention. I did not add the contact address, otherwise all of the information should be here. I can collapse those things so that I can jump right into what I'm quoting for. Okay, so new product. I'm just gonna add a new product, I believe, so I can see how that works as well, since we do have the inventory tracking set as well. Let's say 001. This is Milo powder 1 kg, right? 10 maybe. Try to be as detailed as possible, right? Unit, yes, 1 unit selling price. Unit selling price. Okay, I try to put it as close as possible to actual pricing. I think it's 32 ringgit. Let's go ahead and save that. Okay, cost of sale. Price level. Not too sure what the price level is. I think price level is Oh man, there's a lot of new learnings I have to learn about what these things are gonna do. I think price level is you can set different tiering for the pricing. I'm not too sure. I have to check and try it another time. So I'm just gonna set up what I know, inventory tracking, so that we can track inventory account, quantity on hand. Yep, let me just close this. Auto build. Okay, auto build I believe is a new function as well. So assuming you have multiple products, and sometimes you bundle up products and sell them together. So maybe you're running an e-commerce store, maybe you have a mouse and a keyboard, and you actually bundle it and sell it as a set. So you can build new items based on existing items in your inventory. Other cases would be, I believe we had customers like building doors, custom doors, so they need to keep track of their inventory of the doorknob and all of the various materials, and then they kind of indicate this particular door will use up which particular inventory item. And another good example would be if you're building hamper, so maybe Chinese New Year or Raya is around the corner, you're selling some food or beverage snacks and so forth, then you can actually use the build item. I believe that's its function, but we really will have to try it. I don't want to give the wrong information along the way, but we will try it at some point. Add new. I think the buy-in price, we'll put 25 ringgit. Save. And right now we are using units. So I saw under control panel, you have the option to change your unit of measurement as well. In the past, there wasn't that option to change your unit of measurement. So some people find it a bit frustrating, especially if you want to indicate if it's kg or grams or if it's a unit. So with that option, it's definitely going to be helpful for some people. Okay, let me just go ahead and save that. Actually, let me see what happens if I click build. I guess I'll have to have a new SKU. Not too sure. We'll come back to this later. So this is the new item I'm adding. Save. Did I do it right? Let's just go ahead and see what did I just do. Yeah, okay, so we added Milo powder, 1 kg, 35 ringgit is the selling price, 25 ringgit is the buying price, and the quantity is currently 0. So actually what we need to do first is actually buy some quantity. So actually let's go ahead and do the purchase so that we have something to sell, right? Normally if I'm doing a training, I would have pre-purchased some of this or at least added in the inventory so that I can just straight away go ahead and do selling. But you know, let's try anyways, because I think what they've done is they've also added a negative inventory. I'm not sure if that's a thing they've done, but let's test it out. So negative inventory is allowing you to actually issue invoices even though you don't have the quantity yet, because some people operate on they only place their orders when they've made a sale, right? So that's why there's a need for such flexibility. Item okay, it doesn't detect the products and service that I've added. Is there a way to refresh this particular page, this section, so that I can actually just go ahead and bring in the info? Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like. I just going to have to create another code again. Or is it because the quantity is 0 so it doesn't show up? Okay, yeah, there is. Okay, so let's just go ahead and sell 10. I'm gonna sell 10 units, so that's 320 ringgit. Add new. Let's see. This is if I'm adding another item, I believe. Okay, yeah, that's another item. I only have one item for the time being, so we're just gonna have to cancel this. Actually, 10 units seems like I'm not doing very well in business. I'm gonna say I'm selling 1,000. Yeah, now we're talking money. All right. So what you can do is also you can add additional uploads. So if you need to show them a picture of your Milo, you can do that. I think I have a picture of a Milo. Yeah, this is the Milo you're buying. Okay. I have to select back the customer. It was Neslo, right? Yeah, Neslo needs my Milo to produce Neslo. That's why they're buying it from me. Okay, so that's the quotation. Here's where you can add the note, I believe. Thank you for giving me a chance to do business. Alright. I'm having fun with this. Don't mind me. Let's go ahead and save this. Okay, so that is saved. Oh, so once I save the quote, it closes the quotation tab. Okay, I can see why they'll do that. I'm not too sure if that's the preferred flow of things. Maybe I would have preferred to land on the sales page actually, right? If I have a sales page opens right after I issue the quotation, I think that would be a bit more fluid for me, right? Yeah, I think that would be the feedback I have in this area. After you issue a quotation, rather than just closing the tab, just land it on a sales page, especially if I don't have a sales tab already open. That would actually make it better for me. Okay, so from here, if a quotation is approved, then I believe there's an option to just copy to invoice. Yep. So I'm just gonna skip the sales order. I'm not gonna bother with the sales order. I'm just gonna go to the invoice. Oh, okay, I get it. So earlier it doesn't auto set because that was just the quotation. So the quotation doesn't really need it doesn't have a payment term, so there's no real expiry to the quotation unless it's stated. Ah, sorry. Right, that is the reason why there isn't it doesn't auto select the expiry for the quotation, because quotations typically won't have an expiry unless you're concerned that a customer comes back to you after 3 years and say this was what you quoted me. But yeah, okay, so no export, it's not being exported. I'm just gonna assume that most things are the same. Again, I'll just show them a picture of the Milo. Alright, so for those of you who are new, internal message, external message, you can actually leave additional message for the recipient of the invoice, and this will show up in their email when they receive it. Internal message is more for if you're collaborating multiple people, you just want to leave a note. No discounts for this order because MCO and we need money. Okay, then you can just go ahead and leave this remark so your boss know why you aren't giving a discount for this particular order. We need the money. Yeah, so again, note is thank you for giving me money. Yeah, a little heart, sincerity. And you also have extra for memo and also delivery notes. Okay, so you have an additional. I think this wasn't here previously. So under delivery note, you can add additional. So if you're sending it, so you have maybe your truck driver who's gonna deliver. Maybe you need to add additional notes for the delivery. You can actually add the notes there now. And the delivery note will automatically be generated as well. So you don't have to generate a delivery note separately. recurring invoice. So if this order is recurring every month, you can actually go ahead and set it to auto generate an invoice every month to be sent to the customer, or on a particular date of the month. Okay, but they're not ordering Milo from me every month, so we'll ignore that. Yeah, so let's go ahead and save this invoice. So what I'm seeing is, oh, okay, right. So they don't have a negative balance option for the inventory. I'm not sure if you can make any changes to that. I think from what I'm seeing so far is no, there isn't an option to actually have negative inventory. But there's good reasons for not having that, although there is a need for that. Regardless, you can always just update the quantity just by issuing a purchase order ahead of time, right? Okay, delivery date. Yeah, I'm just trying to think what I was doing. Neslo. Alright, I'm just gonna skip off the information. I just need to buy in the Milo. Add new. I only have 50,000, so I cannot buy too many of it. I can buy 2,000 actually, to be exact. And I'm gonna splurge. Right, I'll buy up 2,000. Use up. not reserving any cash flow. That's the way, right? Go big or go home. Do I need to show them a picture of what I'm buying? No. Okay, they know. Okay, oh, so yeah, there is an option to set a create another, and I believe so if you do click the create another, it will just land you back on another purchase order, new purchase order to create. But let's see if the purchase does the same thing as well. Does the same thing in a sense, it closes the tab after I've created it. Yeah, it does. It closes the tab. Okay. Not too sure. Let me know what you think. If you think that it should actually at least land you on the purchase list. Because I think from the purchase list there is an option to add new. Yeah, at least there's add new. I mean, it's also here. Maybe that's kind of the thought process behind it as well. But anyways, maybe it's for this particular example that I feel like it should land here because I just want to duplicate it over to a bill. Oh, no. Duplicate is not the option I'm looking for. Let me close that. What I'm looking for is copy to. Okay, so don't use the duplicate. Copy to bill. Alright. So, okay, they're also giving me a 30 days payment term. This is a really strange customer. It looks like we are just laundering money at this point. We're selling and buying it back to ourselves. Yeah, really dodgy things we're doing here. Oh, bill. I don't know. Just a random number for now. So that's supposed to be the invoice number that they've issued to you as a reference. Okay, so I believe with the bill, it actually adds your product quantity already, right? So it changes the product quantity right away. Okay, so we go back to our sales now, and we should be able to finish up with our sales invoice. See, this is the beauty of having the tab open. And I believe if I try to save it now, it should update and it should allow me through. Yeah, right? So with the new tabs function, if I made a mistake, I don't have the quantity, I can actually just go ahead and do that. And then I can still go ahead and come back and just save the invoice, and that's really nice. Okay. Not sure if is it just the invoice? Okay, so it's saved. So with invoice, it doesn't close the tab. Or is it because okay, Okay, I need to try this again. Let me just try this again. I'm not convinced. Because the logic of the quotation is that once you complete the quotation, it closes that tab. But the invoice just stays on the invoice. Was it something that I did? Let's try add another invoice and see if that is the same. Okay, I did not click the create another, right? Never mind. Let's just try. Just gonna shift my face. It's a bit blocking my view. Add new Milo tin. I'm just gonna keep it to a lower quantity. Yeah, I'll just test one. Doesn't matter. Save. Oh, okay. Okay, so it does close the tab, but I'm not sure why previously it did not close the tab. Maybe it's because I created the product and service and then. But again, I still stand firm on the fact that I think right after you issue an invoice, rather than just closing the tab, you should just land it on the sales. But I may be wrong. That's open for debate. Again, just comment your thoughts in the bottom if you have any thoughts. I'd like to hear that as well. Okay, so everything else seems pretty much similar, but I guess at the end of the day, you can't run too far from how an invoice should be created or a quotation and so forth. Yeah, so if you need to void, so void is to cancel it. It's not the preferred way of doing it. You should issue a credit note. That's the correct way of doing it, rather than voiding any transactions. Okay, let me see if there's anything else I'd like to check before we move on to something else. I wanted to see how do we go ahead and get the delivery note. Let's see. Okay, so you have to come back into the invoice. Print is just the invoice. It is the invoice. Okay, so they have yet to update the look and feel of the invoice. I believe this color doesn't match so much of the new colors. Maybe they should just change the theme here as well to the darker. But I believe you can do that yourself as well, so it's not a big deal. You can. I guess they didn't want to touch this also because people have made changes to their own invoice color. So that's fair. That's fair. Email track. Okay. Oh gosh. It says that my invoice is open. So apparently someone does have the email address and someone's looking at the quotation or invoice I just sent. I'm really sorry whoever you are, Nestle Ice. So sorry about that. But it says you opened the email at 10:35, so that's 3 minutes ago. Feel free to give me a buzz. Let me know if you are interested to buy my Milo. Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out where the delivery note is. I don't even remember where the old one was located. This is to view the debits and credits. This is to duplicate, print. Okay. Let me just go and check if it sits under the sales order instead of the invoice. Let's try that. Again, I'll just use one unit. Save. Okay. Sorry. That was my invoice. It closed. Yep. No, this is just a sales order. Okay, I guess that's something I just have to check with the team as well. Where is my delivery note? Am I missing it somewhere? Okay, I don't want to spend too much time trying to find this. So I think we can move on to see the other things that they've changed. This is not the most crucial thing. It's not under anywhere else, right? Okay. Sure, fair enough. So let's just take a look at the transactions. I believe transactions should be rather straightforward. I don't think they'll make any change. Deposits, withdrawal, again, very layman term. Deposit just means money coming in, just like an ATM machine. Withdrawal means you're taking money out of your accounts. And that's where you create those additional transactions that is not really related to any of your invoices or purchases. Maybe you're just withdrawing cash for something else, then you can use this to kind of indicate the transfers. Okay, so not much. I believe you can only open a maximum of 6 tabs, so I think we are just about to fill it up here. 7 tabs actually. Or dashboard. Dashboard is probably something you can't close. Can I close the dashboard? I can. What happens if I close all tabs? Let's just take a look at that. Oh, okay, they won't let you close the final tab. Okay, and I can add back my dashboard here. Okay. Okay. Cool. Yep. So again, you can see kind of the things, the changes here. We have yet to make the payment or receive any payments, so everything's just pending for future date. Okay. Wow, I think we'll need a lot more time if we're going into the different reports and just see how have they changed those reports. Definitely seems a lot better, and it's also linked to, oh shoot, I should not be clicking the back button. Okay, let me just re-log in really quick. Okay, I'm re-logged in, so that's something that you just need to remember. So with changes, I shouldn't be clicking the back on the browser anymore. I should just be toggling based on my tabs. Okay, because it actually just opened a new tab. It didn't change from the report, so I shouldn't be pressing that back button at all. Okay, so that's a good thing to take note. Yeah. Okay, so you have the different dates coming due. You can filter based on the customer. Show only in home currency. Let's assume you have multiple currencies. So yeah, I think there's probably a lot of changes in the report, but until I really test it with a lot more data, otherwise the reports won't be as insightful, whether or not it's going to be helpful. But I believe during my time as the community manager at Financio, we also have put in quite a fair bit of work to ensure that the reports does what reports should do, right? To give business owners sufficient insights to their business, and I think that's going to be a crucial part. I've not tested out things like the job tagging. So job tagging allows you to kind of cluster kind of your different jobs together, especially helpful with like engineering or construction kind of reporting, because you want to ensure all of your costings are related to a particular project. So it's like project basis. This can also be helpful for marketing. So let's say you have a campaign, so you want to tie up all of your costings from different agencies into just a single job. So then you can use things like the job tagging. So that's really good as well. Okay, I think I'm just gonna wrap up about here. I think it's been quite a long time as well. But I think so far we've just really covered kind of the setup process, The changes in terms of the tabs, to be honest, it does take a while to get used to. Like you just saw me click the back button earlier. A few things that I definitely think I would suggest as improvement is definitely the logics in terms of after creating a sales quotation or a sales invoice, I do believe it should land back on the sales list page rather than just closing off that tab. But then again, you could always have those sales lists and purchase lists constantly open, just to kind of overcome this issue that I may be feeling that it's a struggle for me, right? Yeah, I think the last part I'm just gonna, yeah. So I think that's a feedback. I think the other thing that I do think is an issue is the mobile optimization. I do believe that there are going to be times where you're still going to be on the run, and you just need to go onto your mobile just to get some things done. And because it's not optimized for the mobile, you either need to have access to the app, which is only available for premium users. Even as a trial, I don't believe I can download it. I'm not too sure. I didn't check. Neither did I try. Right. So that is an issue for me. But other than that, I really love what they've done. I believe that the workflow is a lot smoother. I think I can get things done faster. Just like when you saw me go ahead and create the contacts, as well as, yeah, the contacts also didn't sync earlier. The contact synced. The contact synced, but the product didn't sync into. So I did have to refresh the invoice. So I'm not too sure if that is an error or that's just the way it's going to be. But those are the things I like to just highlight as well throughout this. So again, this is a bit messy because I don't have a script, neither did I plan anything in advance. So just to finish up, I think what I want to do is I want to explore a little bit more about the inventory. What is this auto build items and unbuilt items? I think to do that, I'm just going to add maybe two more products and just see how that works. Okay, I think I'm going to use the new adjustment because I don't have any money left in the bank. Soon I'll be broke. Okay, I still need to add the item first. Okay, I see. Okay, add new. No. I believe I give it SKU first. One. This is gonna be tiger biscuit. I think that's the best biscuit, or maybe the cream cracker to go with Milo. Medium pack, 300 gram, something like this. Yep, sales income, units, selling price is gonna be, I'm not too sure what these things cost these days. I'm gonna say 10 ringgit. I think that's a bit overpriced, but we'll see. And the unit price that I bought it, 5 ringgit. Okay. So if I click add new, can I just change the SKU and the name, and that will link to the new unit I'm adding? Is that how it works? It's primary. No. Okay, so no, I cannot add multiple lines like that. I believe. Okay, so you have to add one at a time. Okay, I'm just gonna save this. Okay, again, it doesn't land me back to the list page. Okay, so that's consistent throughout the entire system. Right, and I'll add one more. The last product I'll be adding, what goes well with Milo? Okay. Corn flakes, 500 gram value pack, 500 gram. Okay, yeah. So this one, let's go ahead and change the price. This one's gonna be 15 ringgit. And this one, I'm gonna have, oh, I bought it for 8 ringgit, for example. Let's go ahead and save that. Okay. I just noticed something. Let's check really quick. I saw that there was an enable build. Oh, there's this enable auto build. Okay, let's go with auto build. Is auto build the only way to do it? Or can I create a new, let's see what's auto build item. Wait. I need to do an adjustment, right? That's what I need to do. Okay, so let's see. Adjustment list, add new. Maximum tabs. I'm gonna close this particular tab. I cannot make adjustments to items that I have 0 quantity of. I guess. Okay, I cannot just adjust. I do need to make a purchase. Okay, just give me a bit. I'm just gonna quickly add, and then we will take a look at that. I probably, okay, so what I've done is I've added in the quantity. Okay, so there's a refresh option. Oh, did I not add the quantity? What did I just do? Purchase 500 of each, and I've saved this particular bill. Quantity doesn't reflect. Let's see if I reopen the list. Changes. Oh, I think I know why. I believe I did not allow the inventory. Nice. Okay. Inventory account. Okay, I'm just gonna have to refresh this because I missed out this step. Okay. I cannot just refresh. I need to actually save the bill again. I believe that will help to indicate that we actually want to reflect the quantity. Please. Let me see. Maybe I need to revert it into a draft. Let's see how I can do that. Okay, there's no way to reverse it as a draft. If I void it, can I reapprove it? Oh no. Oh no. Oh, yep, there's no way. There's no way to undo avoided bill. Okay. Let me see. I'll just have to redo it, I believe. Let's just see if I redo it, if it changes. Putting it to the test, huh? Again, 500 units. Oh, my apologies. My keyboard is a dual keyboard, so I need to switch between the function keys and the number keys. Again, this is slow eyes. I'm gonna add the item. 500. Yeah, this is a pretty long session. I feel like I'm actually just testing it, so this is really transparent. It's just really me going through the software and also going through my own stupidity. Not really remembering how to do all of this, right? Okay, save this. Right, purchase bill. Boom, done. Okay, this should update my inventory now that I have my tracking on. Let's see if that. Yep, okay. So you just have to be careful. I guess now I'm just playing around, so I didn't do it according to the setup. It should be done step by step, otherwise, you know, the system can't keep track of everything for you as well. But what you need to remember is to always turn on the inventory tracking if you want to be tracking that inventory. Otherwise, the bill you created will not automatically add after. Okay, status. Okay, I'm still trying to figure out what this build items is because it doesn't show up here. I also don't have quantity on hand, so I don't know. I don't exactly know. Still trying to figure it out. My brain is trying to figure it out ahead of time so that I don't look too lost. But maybe let's try within the product itself. There was a build, enable auto build. Maybe I need to enable this first. Okay, maybe if I save it like this, then it will allow me to build items. I think that sounds logical. I mean, if you didn't enable it, then the logic, yeah, logically they won't just put the item there. Especially if you're managing a lot of items, I think you don't want it to all show up unless there's a chance you'll be building those items. Yep. Again, product and service list. Do I have it already open? Yep. Oops. View, I think the last one is the tiger. Okay. Let's see if this logic is the correct logic. So now if I go to build items, it should allow me to. No. Okay. Doesn't work like that. It doesn't work. Okay, so what is it? So you have to do it. Wait, didn't I enable it? I have to add something. So this is the conflicts. Okay, I'm just trying to understand what this build is actually. This is entirely new to me, so okay. So if I edit it this way, and then if I go to auto build items now, no, no. Did I save it? Oh, okay. Okay, I understand how this works now. I understand how this works now. Alright, so you have to first create your item. Okay. Okay. So let's go back and undo this. It shouldn't be enabled here. Save it back. Okay, what I am to do is actually go ahead and add a new product, and this is the product I want to be. Health and wellness hamburger 1. Okay. In this case, I think I can ignore all of this, right? And I can just go straight to this. Can I do that? Okay, so they also allow for multiple location now. So if you have a warehouse or you have a retail shop somewhere, and maybe when you do go ahead and create a hamper, maybe you're sourcing from the remaining stock from different locations, so you just want to indicate which location it's coming in from, then you can actually select which particular location it's from as well. So that's really good. Add new. Okay. Now the only question is, why is the conflicts not here? Yeah, let's try to figure that out as well. So if I go ahead and save this, okay, yes, it allows me to save it. So I have the hamper. I have 0 quantity of that because that's something I'm gonna be building. Now the question is, for the conflicts, it did not show up in the auto build. And why is that? Is it because I accidentally built something within it and now it doesn't allow for it? Oh, okay, it's still here. Maybe that's why. I actually probably need to undo this. Oh no. Okay, I have a problem here. I cannot disable the auto build. It's not disabling. Is it because did I create something already? I did not. I did not put in the quantity. But okay, so from here is where you can actually say I want to create 5. And wait, this quantity to sorry. So I need to unbuild this first. 500 here. Okay. Let's see if now I can delete this. Okay, I just created a mess. I created a mess. I pretty much created a mess. Multi-location. Inventory. Okay. Oh. I think I did it. Alright, I got rid of it. Click on the quantity field to build into. Alright, quantity to build here. So I want to create 5. Let's go ahead and put that. And then what happens? And then what happens? Do I just refresh from here? Nope. Auto build items. Not sure how this works. Let's say 10. I want to build 10 units. Okay, I think I'm gonna need some help in this area. I'm probably gonna just go ahead and message the support team at some point. Or maybe just go read up the guides on how this exactly works. How do I increase this quantity on hand? It says here, click on quantity to build field, enter the quantity. When you're done, click build items button. Oh my gosh, okay. My apologies, guys. There's a build items button at the bottom. Right. There you have it. Okay. Sometimes you need to read instructions. Sometimes we just got to read instructions. Build item. So now quantity is 10. Okay, so after this, they'll show you what will happen. So you deduct 10 units here and here, and then we have to click record before it actually gets reflected. Okay. Okay. So go ahead and save that. Can't believe I just spent so much time over something that's supposed to be easy. There you have 10 quantity. Don't have a sale price. We should have added a sale price. There's no cost price, but the cost price isn't a problem because it's taking the cost from the adjusted items, right? So I think that is what will happen. So the only thing you need to do here is set the sale price. Yeah, I think you don't want to be touching the cost of sale price here if it's a merge. Let me see if the conflicts now shows up. Yep, the conflicts now shows up because I just now didn't successfully. But let me just add that as well so that it's complete, and then we can call it a night here. Okay, now we're gonna do it right this time. Build items, maximum tab. Auto build items. Quantity to build. What happens if I change the hamper? I am curious now. Yeah, would it? I guess the doesn't take the conflicts. I didn't add. Let me try adding it again, one more time, just to make sure I'm doing it correctly. Did I set the quantity even just now? Maybe I did not. Save. Okay, it's here. Let me save it. Okay, it's saved. To be fair, let me just refresh this thing. Auto build. Again, I want to build 10. Build items. Okay, so the conflicts just show up. So it'll take another 10 and then it will push 10. Oh no, my conflicts price is 0 here. What am I doing? Okay, it's a real mess. I'm really sorry about that. I was just trying to understand to see if the cost of sales, I think the cost of sales would be automatically calculated for you. So in the product creation, I don't think you want to be indicating the cost of sales here. Otherwise, it will be a double up on the total cost of sales since you are already auto building the items. I think alternatively, if you're building it yourself, you could also do that. So I think what you could do is from here, select, it's not primary. I'm not sure what this is primary would do actually. Actually, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure if you can just build an item yourself. I think you have to go through that process. Okay, I just need to make sure I change the conflicts price. I cannot end the night if I am putting the conflicts price wrongly. Yeah, why did the cost price disappear? View. That was what I wanted it to be. Save. Okay, I'm really messing up the whole accounting, but yet it's still holding up quite accurately, despite my back and forth of entry errors. Okay, let's see what we have built again. Is there a way to see the breakdown of all of the items that I've built? Okay, I just built another 5 just to see one final time. Okay, so 5 of each. I have another question. So what happens if, let's say, I have 2 conflicts in just one build? Is there a way to change that? My conflicts is still showing unit price 0. Oh no. Okay. Okay. Let me reload this page. Did it change? No, it's still 0. Did it not update the price? Save. Oh, okay. I remember you can change the quantity under the when I'm constructing the hamper. Here I could change the quantity. Let's say maybe conflicts is 2. I could change the quantity here to 2, so that's not a problem. Good to know. Okay, so finally cost price is 8. Maybe I didn't save it. I need to look back at my own replay to see if I done it, but knowing myself, I probably didn't do it properly earlier. Okay, let's go back to auto build one last time, and then we can wrap up here. 5 build items. Whoever's watching this is gonna be so frustrated watching me do this. It's like watching a gamer try to play a game for the first time. That person isn't really very much a gamer. Card. No, the unit price is still 0. The unit price reverts to 0. Okay, I think I might have just bugged out the system then. Yeah, I think if I go ahead and refresh this, now you see it as 8. Yeah, I think if I go ahead and refresh this, I think we might see it revert to 0 again. No, it's still 8. Ah. Okay, let me try. I'm not convinced. Or is this price setting set on the hamper? What's the actions here? Okay, you can. The only thing you change here is the location. You cannot change the quantity. Okay, so record this. Okay, yeah, I really don't know why the unit price is still showing 0 here. I am clueless at this point. Yeah, we probably need to undo some of the things. I do have to take a certain amount of responsibility for having a lot of back and forth because I wasn't sure how this particular system works. I don't believe it set the unit price here. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna end it here. Yep. I guess you kind of have an understanding of through my mistakes, kind of understanding of how to use the build as well. So you need to actually create an item, and that item would be the build. So in this case, we create a hamper and then enable the build on this particular item, and then you can automate creating new builds and quantity in future. Yeah, overall, I think I can see this being a very useful feature. And then once you build it, I guess from here, since the costing was all off, what I can do is just go ahead and unbuild all 35 units, unbuild them, and I hope it goes back 0, because otherwise there will be entry errors, right? So it goes back to goes back at 0. Maybe after I'm building them, I'll just go ahead and test that later on after this session as well, to see if after I'm building them, then maybe the costing can be adjusted. Maybe just the fact that there was recorded 0 and then I changed the costing after, that might give the system some sort of confusion, because yeah, you don't want multiple costings involved. Okay, but that's all for today. I probably will do another session maybe sometime if there's a lot of people who enjoys this kind of nonsense video. Overall, I do like the changes. I do think this will be very helpful for a lot of business owners. If you do not yet have an accounting software, Financio is built in Malaysia, built for Malaysian businesses. They're definitely not perfect, but they do put in a lot of effort to make sure that it's a software that is built for Malaysian business owners, and they are very community centric. Being a community manager, I can definitely vouch for that. We do take considerations of our users very seriously and try to build something that's good for them. Although we like to see what competitors are doing, really, I think what's important is also having a balance of that, versus what the voices of the users are actually saying. Oh yeah, I think I was looking at the integrated apps as well. I think I see a few new ones. Yeah, I see iKey. Not too sure what that is. I believe that's some sort of for kindergartens, kind of payroll, or for students maybe. Lazada is interesting. And I believe Lazada could be handy if you're doing business. And then you have Mu Payroll. Hey, that's really cool to see some payroll softwares being synced. I've also worked with payroll softwares. If you guys have heard of HR Easily, I've worked with them as well. But yeah, to see more payroll software. I think payroll software is another one of those things that a lot of business owners need, especially since Malaysia's taxation, income tax is a bit complicated, a lot of tierings and so forth. Having a software to do that is definitely helpful. But also just the fact that there's a lot of banks. I think that often creates an issue because everyone wants a integration with the bank to issue out the payments easily, and it's really hard to work with all the banks for that. But yeah, I guess with gyro files and so forth, you can work around things. But yeah, that's all for today. Again, thank you whoever who's watching, and hopefully we can have another session just to explore more of this software. But definitely, if you are looking for an accounting software, you can feel free to check them out. I don't get anything by referring you guys to the software. Yeah, so let me just see what their subscription fee is now. 825 a year, and monthly is 75. 875. Let's see what 875 is. Sorry, my divided by 12. Okay, so it's about you get some additional savings. It's about 73 ringgit a month. Yeah, the pricing has increased. It used to be 30 ringgit. I think with this new rollout, they've increased the pricing. Whether or not I think the pricing it matches, it's definitely still competitive with some of the competitors out there. But really, I do wish to see a lower price point at the end of the day, considering it's built in Malaysia, made for Malaysians. I do believe that we could aim for a lower price point. It's still more pricey than, say, a Netflix subscription. But again, Netflix is more has a wider audience, so there's always that counter argument of with more users, there's always the option to reduce the pricing for everyone. But since accounting is relatively niche, because you can't really bring a SST compliance to another country, and you really build it differently for every country. So really the market is quite small, and going into different markets does require quite a significant amount of development to become compliant to a new location. But I guess at the end of the day, the pricing is really up to you to decide if it's worth or not. Yeah, there's two plans. So there is a cheaper version for 45 ringgit. I think the 45 ringgit one limits the number of invoices you can issue in a month. But you really would have to check their actual pricing page to really understand what the difference is. Okay, so yeah, 45 ringgit only allows you to send up to 20 invoices, which I think for most normal businesses, I think you'll be sending, I do hope you'll be sending more than 20 invoices. But again, if you are like a huge engineering firm and you only deal 5 invoices in a month, and that's good, then definitely this is also good for you, considering they also have job kind of tagging. Okay, so for the 45, they also limit the ability to use the average cost, and they limit you to single currency. Wow. Okay. Man, I'll have to say I don't fully agree with their pricing strategy. I don't really see so many limitations. Again, if you're engineering, I do think you'll be dealing with multiple currency, because you'll be buying in things from different countries. So you end up having to go for the 75 ringgit. So I don't really know who this 45 ringgit is. It feels more like a gimmick that it's really made for nobody. And it puts you in a position feeling like, oh yeah, they do try to help me save, but my business is doing better, and so I have to go for the 75 ringgit. I do think, yeah, it feels really fairly gimmicky to me. I really don't see a business using 45 ringgit. If you're a freelancer, I don't see necessarily why you should have a invoice software and you should be spending that 45 ringgit. That 45 ringgit is probably better off spent on some ad budget or something like that, right? Also, they limit your reports and insights. That's pretty, yeah. I I don't want to comment too much because I'll be bashing at that point. But yeah, it's entirely up to you to decide. If you think 75 ringgit is worth it, then yeah, I think it's still a good software. There's a good team behind it, developing constantly, trying to make this a better software for everybody. And at the end of the day, yeah, you get to say you support a local company, you support a local business, and it's only through supporting local businesses that someday we can have more unicorns in that is coming out of Malaysia, and that's something we can look forward to. But okay, that's all for today. Bye.